So as usual, we have four amazing sessions. That's 1 hour per session. So because our trainer came in a bit late, we will give him extra 15 minutes to cover the time, right? So we'll be having the first AI, we'll be having AI ethics, governance, and risks. And then the second session will be having AI in operations. The third, delivering the requirements, that's for business analysis. And then PM, tailoring and other recommendations. Okay, so our first trainer who will be taking the first session of today's class is Ayola Dikola. He is a highly skilled and innovative software and application developer with over a decade of expertise in .NET technologies, currently serving as an IT system specialist at A4S Online, a leading audit assurance and assessment company. Ayola is known for his exceptional creativity and outstanding problem-solving skills. His extensive knowledge and ability to navigate complex challenges make him an invaluable asset in optimizing business processes and enhancing operations. Proficient across the entire software development lifecycle, Ayola also has a strong background in setting up servers and networks for various enterprises, supported by his certification in Cisco Networking Technologies, CCNA. As a business analyst instructor, his commitment to excellence and continuous improvement ensures a high-quality learning experience for all participants. Ladies and gentlemen, with a clapping of hands, let's welcome our first trainer, Ayola Dekola. Mr. Ayola, are you there?
Yes, good morning, Mercy. Thank you very much for having me here. Good
You
morning,
can take it off.
everyone.
Mr. Ayola, we cannot hear you if you are speaking. Your mic is mute. Your mic is muted.
Oh, I'm very sorry. Very, very sorry. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now,
Yes,
please? Okay, good morning, Mercy. How are you
loud
doing
and
today?
clear.
Yeah, how are you doing today?
I'm
Yeah, thank you
fine.
very much, everyone. Thank you very much for joining this call this morning. I'm so glad, when I have the opportunity to be here, I count it as a rare privilege, to be able to share from, my level of little experience that I've had, in this area of thoughts. So once again, I want to thank Transformation College. Thank you for giving us opportunity to be here once again. So without wasting much of our time, because I've already spent some times off the call. Today we're going to be doing something very very interesting. I know we've started with what is artificial intelligence. I know a lot of us know. We have a lot of we have a lot of knowledge about um uh, AI systems. Some of us, even the way we make or probably give instructions to our, AI. It's very interesting that, even some professionals will not be able to do what, we can do. That is to say, the level of proficiency for our prompts, our skills, it's very, very, very great. So I won't be taking much of our time, going back to all those ones. I'm here to talk about, artificial intelligence, governance, the risk, and and how to be able to ensure that we responsibly use AI systems. How to be able to ensure that we responsibly use AI systems. So I have some pool of questions, you know, and the way I always like to start my uh, class is that you would go to the chat room. So all you just need to do for me is to be able to, give me some response. Do you understand? Ensure that everybody is commenting. I don't want to call anybody's name. Just ensure that once I ask the question, you know, I want to be sure that every one of us are on the call. So going forward, I want to also ensure that I'm able to, talk to some people on the call, maybe two, three, four people or five people. I just say hello, hello, hello. So just say hello back. You can just quickly unmute yourself. I know admin, you can allow people to be able to unmute themselves for now, so that I can just be able to, ensure that I have people, on the call. So let me first call Mr. Omojivwe, if I'm right. Hello, how you doing? Good morning.
Good morning, sir. I'm
Yeah,
fine.
it's good to
And you,
it's
sir?
good to have you. Yeah, thank you. It's good to have you on the call. Yeah. Selena, good morning. How you doing today? Selena Oduayo, good morning. How you doing today? I'm just going to call like five people at random. Just say hello, hello, hello. Hello,
Good
Selena.
morning. I'm good.
Yeah, yeah, good to have you on the call. Good morning. Hello, Dr. Love This. Who's Dr. Love This? Okay. Hello, good morning. Dr. Love This. I don't know. Who's that? Good morning. How you doing today? Okay.
You. Good morning to you.
Good morning,
A great
sir. Good
morning to
morning,
you.
sir. Good morning, sir. Yeah, thank you very much. Okay, Joseph Okonkwo. Good morning. How you doing?
I'm good. Good morning.
Okay, thank you very much. So let me call Priscilla. Good morning. How you doing today? Hello, Priscilla. Good morning.
Good
Okay.
morning.
Yeah, thank you very much. And lastly, Aisha. Good morning. How you doing today? Okay, why I always do this is just to ensure that I'm able to, at least understand that I have people, on my call, and this gives us the opportunity. Yeah, good morning, sir, Mr. Samuel. Good
Good morning,
morning.
sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir. Good
sir.
morning. It's good to have you on the call. So, it's an opportunity to be able to know that we all are on the call together. So, I'm going to be sharing my screen now. And I hope at the end of the day, every one of us, we are able to get one thing or the other to be able to, take home, as a business analyst. So, okay. Okay. So please confirm you can see my screen quickly. Somebody just help me confirm that you can see my
We can see your
screen.
screen.
Yeah,
We
thank you
can.
very much, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Okay, so my first question is this. So everybody, and I want to see your reaction in the chat room. Now go to the chat room on a scale of 1 to 6. I have three questions here, and that is rate yourself on these three questions. Each question takes 2 points. Each question takes 2 points. So I want to know a level of proficiency. So everybody, go to the chat room now. Tell me how many of us have used AI tool in the last 7 days. Rate yourself 2 marks. Just sum it all together. Do you understand? On the scale of 1 to 6. Don't do partial. Do you understand? So the second question is, how many of us have used ChatGPT, Copilot, Gemini, Cloud, or other for our work? Do you understand? So rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 6. Don't forget that each of the question, takes 2 points. And lastly, is how many of us have used AI to be able to write requirements, analyze data, summarize meetings, create documents, generate SQL query or code, write code, or prepare presentation. Quickly, let's quickly do that. Okay, let's go to the chat room. I want to be sure. Some people will say they even scored 10 over 6. Is there anything like that? Okay, 6. Okay, I like this. Okay, 5 over 6. Okay, I like that. 6, 6, 5, 5. Okay, I like that. Mr. Buelo, 2. Okay, I like that. Nike Owobodo, 7. How come? I said each question is 2. Do you understand? Each question is 2. So every time I'm expecting a total of everything over 6. You should sum everything over 6. Do you understand? Sum everything over 6. Okay? Okay? Okay, 4, 2, okay, 6 to 1. That is an average of 3. Okay? 6 over. Wow. Wow. Somebody saying 7. Where did you get 7? Okay, thank you very much. So this shows that 4/6, great, great. Okay, this shows that we have a very, very good fundamental of artificial intelligence in you know on the basics. Do you understand? So I can find out that a lot of us score six, like 90% of us score six, while the average of us scored like four, like four. Great. So let's quickly move on to the next question. Don't worry, we are starting something. So now, over the couple of weeks, if I ask you as a business analyst, what is your primary responsibility when you are working on a system? What is your primary responsibility when you are working on a system? I'm very sure that some of us will say requirements. You want to first gather requirements. Some of us want to say we want to first speak, with the stakeholder. Some of us want to say, okay, we want to know what that particular value, that particular product, or engagement that you are trying to get on as a business analyst. So some people join me in the chat room. Tell me, from what you've learned in the past weeks, what is your primary responsibility when you are working on a system? Quickly, everybody in the chat room, what's your primary responsibility when you are working on a system? I need 2, 3, 4 people in the chat room quickly. What is your primary responsibility when you are working on a system? Help me out now. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Okay. Okay, somebody said accuracy, epiphany. Thank you very much. Accuracy, value. Okay, I like this. Like I said, to get the job done well within the stipulated time. That's nice. Okay, somebody give me one more answer. Okay, I need one more person. Thank you very much, Epiphany. If I'm right with that name, Azrael. Yes. And naked. Okay. Finish task. So what we've been learning on this one is just how to get the job done, no matter what happens. How the deliverables will be achieved. The business objective. Okay, my primary responsibility is to understand the business problem and translate business. Okay, 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 okay. To get precision. Okay, very good. So let me quickly take off my screen for a while and let me quickly, just jot some things down for us. Because as a business analyst, you want to ensure that you are able to understand. Sorry. Okay, you are able to. Okay, let me add. Number one, understand. Business requirements. Number two, you must be able to gather that particular requirements, right? Number three is that you must be able to analyze all the existing and needed processes. Analyze existing and all processes. Yes, let's put it like this, processes. Okay, another thing that you need to, which is one of your major responsibility as a business analyst, is that you must be able to document requirements. Yes, you must be able to document requirements. Yes, some of us have learned about some tools that you can use to be able to document some of our requirements. So somebody help me in the chat room while I just try to give us more points on some of the things that is one of our responsibility. So not only getting the job done, which is the end goal, yes, but there's some things that are major responsibility of a business analyst that you as a person must know. And let me just say, you must be able to identify stakeholder, and lastly, is that you must be able to, okay, let me say identify risk, and don't let me take out the answer of everyone, and that's going to make sure I get me make sure that the solution meets business needs. So thank you very much. Needs. So these are the what? These are the top priority of what? Of a business, analyst whenever you are working on a system. So please, everybody on the call, you can quickly take a screenshot of this so that at least you can have it as a guide. Don't forget that we might not be coming back to this point again. We might not be coming back to this point. I have to ensure that I lay the foundation for you so before we now fully go into the AI, governance itself. So lastly, this is my last question for everybody on the call. Now, look at it. If an AI system makes a decision that harms a customer, everybody, who is responsible? Choose one answer quickly. Who is responsible and why? Quickly in the chat room. If any AI systems that you as a business analyst, is working on, if that system makes a decision that harms the customer, everybody, who is responsible? Quickly, the developer. Okay. See, okay, why do you say developer? I want to know why you say developer. Okay, and why do you say business analyst? Quickly, why did you say that? Why do you say developer and why did you say business analyst? Quickly, everybody. Okay, the BA. Okay, why do you say BA? Everybody saying BA. I'm saying BA here. I'm saying the business analyst. I'm saying somebody just also, you can unmute your mic and just talk on the call. Okay, why do you choose your answer? Why the developer? Why the business analyst? Why? Okay, did somebody choose F? Okay, somebody say it depends. Okay, why did Mr. Rick? Let me hear from you. Why do you say it
Okay.
depends?
Okay.
Thank you. Okay, please proceed, Mr. Omogve.
Yeah, Omojewe, I wanted to say
Yes.
is the developer because most of the business analyst, sorry, the things anchored on the business analyst because he's the one that we supposed to check those things and supposed to look at those documents before sending to whoever is sending to. So he's like the middleman that work with the tools itself, that will work with the document. So the fault should come from you should have noticed it. The developer may be an external person or an internal person, but the
Mm.
analyst is the one that has the job to do more.
Thank you very much. The analyst has the work or the job to be able to do more. Though, if you ask everybody on a normal day, what they will tell you is that the job of the business analyst. But sincerely, I get to me. The answer is everyone on the call, everyone on the list. Are you getting me? But if you are supposed to choose one, we will say it is the work of the business analyst because you are the one that provides, the foundation. You are the one that provides the architecture. You are the one that provides, the foresight and ensure that that particular uh, system that you are trying to build does what meets the business needs. So if there's any challenge, it's always what is always the business analyst. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you very much, everyone that has contributed to this particular session. So let's go to today's training, and I will quickly be talking about AI governance. And one of the things we are going to be talking about is the principle of AI governance, the life cycle, the ethics, the risk, you know and the business analyst role, in AI governance. So without wasting much of our time, I would like to quickly do this also. I would like to say that you need to understand that AI governance is not just about sitting down to allow everybody within the life cycle of a particular problem or products to be able to deliver. No, that is the end goal though. But you need to understand that the governance, which speaks to all the policies, all the processes, it talks about the roles of everyone on that particular uh products life cycle, talks about what is the role, talks about the responsibility, talks about the controls and oversights of every mechanisms that is used to ensure that AI is developed and used responsibly. That is the simple meaning of what? The simple meaning of AI governance. So let me quickly take us back in the green. So AI governance is what? Number one, everybody, the collection of what? Of principle. So take note of that. The collection of principle. Number two, the collection of what? Processes. Don't forget that when I started this particular session, I said that what is the primary role of what? Of a business analyst. And I also mentioned that some of them includes the following, not to mention everything, but it includes the following. So if during gathering of the requirements, analyzing the existing and all the processes, documentation of requirements, identifying all the stakeholders, all these things needs, a governance structure. That is to say, the ability to be able to collect all these deliverables, the policies, the processes, the roles of everybody. You identify the stakeholders, you identify the developers, you identify the testers, you identify the data, you identify uh, everyone on that particular system. Then you are saying what? You are saying that you are putting a governance into what? Into place. So you need to understand that every AI system that needs to be developed needs to have a governance. We call it an oversight. In a simple term, you need to ask the five basic questions to be able to ensure that you understand who and what you need for every AI systems that's going to be developed to be able to provide governance for it. Number one question is, who can use AI? That is the first question. So you are able to identify the role there, right? So now, how should AI be used? So when you're talking about how should AI be used, you are talking about the policies that are going to be needed. That's number two. Number three, what controls are required? Are you getting me? What controls are required? Number four is, who is accountable? I mentioned that the roles is very important. And lastly is, what happens when something goes wrong? Yes, the other time I asked, who is responsible for when something goes on in the AI system life cycle? Everybody said is the AI analyst. And but sincerely, those one that provide oversight, but sincerely, it's everybody on the team. So this answers the definition of what is what AI governance. Who can use AI? How should it, how should AI be used? What controls are required? Who is accountable? And what happens when something goes wrong? So let's quickly look up again and let's look at some of the principle of responsible AI. You understand? Some of the 9 principles of responsible AI. Everyone on the call, you need to take a screenshot of this and keep it safe, because this is what guides you whenever you are trying to provide an oversight. As a business analyst, you need to understand the 9 principles of the responsible AI use. Number one is accountability. Do you understand? Accountability. So at every stage in time in your AI system, someone must be responsible for the AI system. So if something now goes wrong, instead of going to the business analyst and put all the blame on him, what the business analyst need to do is just be able to ensure that it goes back and see who is responsible for this particular system, who is responsible for this particular stage. Number two is transparency. You need to understand that every stakeholders must understand all they do and why. Are you getting me? And on what data they are currently working on. So there must be what? Accountability. That is to say, who is responsible? There must be transparency. Everybody must be able to understand. All stakeholders must be able to understand what they are doing, what that particular system is doing, and why, and what data is being used for that particular system. Another thing is explainability. That's the third principle of responsible AI use. You need to understand that for every significant decision, there must be an explanation. Let me repeat that. For every significant decision, for every decision in your AI system, as a business analyst, there must be an explanation. So this is it. When you check your AI, some of your AI systems or tools that you've used in the past, you find out that for every output that it gives you, it later tells you why it's giving you that particular output. How many of us have noticed that during the use of your AI system? Please indicate that in the chat room. If you've noticed that for every output your ChatGPT, your Copilot, or any of your LLMs gives you, there's always a reason why that particular output is being given to you. So if you've ever seen that in your LLMs, any of your LLMs, please indicate that in the chat room quickly as I move. The fourth thing that I need to understand is what? Unjust discriminatory outcomes. There must not be unjust discriminatory outcome. When I say discriminatory outcome, a lot of places, there's always a religious bias, there's always an ulterior motive. Sometimes there's always a belief differences. So all these things, sometimes culture, sometimes thoughts, or probably human itself. So you need to ensure that whenever you are building an AI system, you need to ensure that there must not be unjust discriminatory outcome. All your data must be what? Must meet with this principle of responsible use of artificial intelligence. That is, there must be what? There must be fairness. Number 5 is privacy. Privacy. You need to understand that you need to protect people's PIIs. That is personal. Can you hear me, please? Hello, am I still audible? Please, somebody confirm if I'm still audible, please.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Okay,
you
thank you
are.
very
Yes,
much.
you are.
So you must be able to protect everybody's PIIs. That is personal information of everyone. You must be able to ensure that your AI system must be able to either follow the data privacy body of your country, or the please let me mute that person that is disturbing the call, please. Sorry, admin, please let me mute that person. Okay, thank you. So you need to ensure that every of your AI system must be able to maintain privacy at all times. That is to say, protect everybody's personal identifiable information. Their information must always be protected at all times. Another one is security, and that is you need to ensure that all your AI system must be protected from thefts, it must be protected from poisoning, from manipulation, and from any form of attacks. Another one is human oversight. Listen to this, everyone on the call. As a business analyst, you must always ensure that at every point in your AI system outcome, you must be able to provide human oversight. That is to say, people must be involved where AI could cause significant harm, especially when it comes to approvals. You need to ensure that human oversight is always very involved. Reliability, auditability, that is to say, what happened when what data is being used. So these are the 9 principles of AI. These are the 9 principles of AI. So everybody, you can also take a screenshot of this: accountability, transparency, maintain explainability, must be fair, it must maintain privacy, it must be secure. I get me. It must always provide human oversight, it must be reliable, and lastly, it must be auditable. Let's really move up to you understand that AI make every decision. Are you getting me? AI is not an accountable framework. That is to say that AI does not know when it's making a mistake. So what do you need to do? You must never allow or be convenient for AI to be able to give direct output without providing an human oversight. That is to say, every AI system needs a owner who answers for its outcome, so that at least you can be able to maintain correctness at all time. So whenever the output comes out, you are building the AI system, it brings out an output, you ensure that there's somebody that is responsible for the outcome of that particular system. So let's move on. Let's talk about the AI life cycle. Don't forget, we've spoken about AI governance, and we said that AI governance, the collection of policies, processes, rules, controls, and what oversight mechanism used to and used responsibly. And some of the responsible AI use principles, and I said it is 9, right? So, and I also wanted to say that if there's a poorly governance in your AI system, you know that these are the top things that are going to happen. Number one is the financial loss. There's going to be regulatory violation. There's going to be privacy breaches. There's going to be discriminations. There's going to be security incidents, issues. There's going to be incorrect decisions. There's going to be reputational damage. There's going to be legal liability, and I'm very sure a lot of us don't want to find ourselves in that. There's going to be customer harm, and lastly is operational disruption. I used to ask a question which I always tell everyone when I have the opportunity to speak like this, especially when it comes to AI. I always say, pick one out of money or reputation. Which one works best for an organization? Reputation or profits? Reputation or okay, let's use profit. Let's use money. Reputation or money? Which one do you think works better for your organization? So if there's governance in place, then you'll be able to provide a real reputation, for that particular organization. So let's go talk about AI life cycle itself. And you need to understand that there are AI life cycle. I get me. I need to understand that there are 8 stages for continual responsibility in AI system life cycle. I need to understand that this does not stop. Do you understand? It's a continuous process. It's a continuous process. So you need to understand that we don't always begin with we need an AI system. Do you understand? What we always begin with is what problem are we trying to solve? What problem are we trying to solve? So this brings us back to where we started this morning when I said that what is the responsibility of what? Of a business analyst in trying to create a working system. In trying to create a working system. You found out that when I said the first one is that you are able to understand what business requirement that is needed. And this brings us to the first thing that we need to understand in what? In the AI life cycles. In the AI life cycle. Don't forget, I said that the life cycle is a continuous process. It's a continuous process. So the first thing that you need to do is you identify the problem. I mentioned that the other time. That is to say, what problem are we solving? That is where you really need to start. Whenever you are trying to build, you are trying to develop, you are trying to work on an AI system, or you want a working AI system to be delivered by your team. So the first thing that you need to do to know in the AI life cycle is what? problem identification. Number two is use case identification. Most of the time, this is where we get it wrong. As a business analyst, you need to understand what are the objectives, what are the users, or who are the users, what is the outcome, and what harms can this particular system bring. So you need to be able to understand this to be able to build a very working AI system or solution. So don't forget, you need to understand the use case or define the use case. Define the use case. This includes some of the modules, this includes some of the features, this includes the objectives, this includes the users, this includes the outcome, this includes entire. So you're able to identify them and document them properly. Number three thing in the AI life cycle is data acquisition. Yes, this is very important. A lot of people, whenever they are trying to, that AI system is not about ChatGPT, or probably as a business analyst, you are not only working with ChatGPT, you are not only working with uh Copilot, Claude, and so on. But one of the things that you are going to be working with is data. So if I ask you, what is the source of your data? Who owns that data? What is the quality of that data? And what's the legality of that particular data? These are the questions that you need to ask yourself, when you are trying to get the data, the kind of data you are using for your AI system, or you are using to build your AI. Don't forget data acquisition. So I said the first one is what? Problem identification. That's the first stage in the life cycle. The second stage is what? You identify or define the use cases. The third stage is what? Data acquisition. The fourth stage is what? Development. Yes. After you've been able to identify, the sources, the ownership, the quality and legality of the data, then you need to start developing your what? Your model. You need to train your data properly. You need to test it. You need to check if there's fairness, if there's bias. You need to check the security. This is what we do at what? At the development stage. And the fifth stage is validation. The validation talks about checking accuracy. How accurate is this particular AI or this model that have been what? That have been developed? How accurate is it? You need to check for fairness. You should check for explainability and robustness. These are the things that you need to check during validation. Number one is accuracy. Number two is fairness. Number three, robustness. I need to check if there's explainability. That is to say, for every critical decision, there's an explanation for the outcome. That is validation. So we have the deployment. Yeah, you know what deployment means. From approval to controls to training to monitoring. Do you understand? That's deployment. And then we have monitoring. Yes, you want to check, you have a dashboard, you want to see if there's a drift, you want to see if there's incident, you want to see if there's any complaints, you want to see how the performance, the performance talks about the dashboard, where you're able to monitor what is going on with all your models. And lastly is retirement. Retirement means you want to replace, you want to retrain, you want to suspend, or you want to decompose. These are the 8 stages of an AI life cycle. Don't forget that we don't start a life cycle with what you don't say this is what we need. You don't say this is what we need, or these are the features. You don't talk about the features, or you don't say these are the data. You don't say, okay, let us start building. No, you first identify what the problem is to getting all the use cases, to be able to get the source of the data, to be able to now develop the models, to train the data properly, and to be able to ensure that those particular models are properly tested. You move to validation, where you check if it's accurate, if it's robust, if it's fair, and it's explainable. Are you getting me? Then another one is the deployment, monitoring, and retirement. These are the 8 life cycle of AI, of an AI system. So let's talk about merging this particular 4 life cycle into one unit head. And that is want to see where we start from the conception of what we need to do, that is the problem identification, to the development. And I said in the other time, and I think I've been able to explain it, that for every problem identification, you are able to start with the problem first in mind. Problem first in mind. Problem first in mind. What you need the AI for, and you'll be able to determine the outcome, because a problem always develop or brings about the outcome of that particular, uh uh identification. So we'll talk about the use cases already. I've mentioned that. I've talked about the business objectives, the users, the functionalities. Remember, I mentioned this: expected outcomes, constraints, potential harms, data acquisition. I spoke about that, development, and lastly, I spoke about the validation, the deployment, the monitoring, and the retirement. Now let's move to AI ethics. So this afternoon, we've been able to talk about the governance, the life cycle. Now we are in AI ethics. So even if we can do something with AI, the question is, should we? It's a very critical question that you as a business analyst must be able to ask. Okay, yes, we can do something with AI. Do we really need to develop this thing? Is it very important for us to be able to ensure that AI is needed in this particular application or system that we are trying to build, because of the principles that are needed to be able to ensure that governance stay to uh, ensure that everyone has a role, that it's being covered. So now let's go look at how a system should learn from unfairness. I won't take much time on this. Are you getting me? Because you need to understand that if we look at the AI recruitment system, for example, and you look at what a recruitment system should look like, some of the questions that an AI system or a business analyst should ask is that: is the training data representative? Are there historical bias in it? Are different groups treated fairly? Are outcome tested across groups? What happens if unfairness is what is detected? Don't forget that in this particular AI recruitment system, what does that AI system need to do is that it needs data. Yes, for what are the things that you've done, or what are the requirements that was needed or used to be needed or is needed to be able to hire people. Are you getting me? And you need to understand that your AI, your model learns from the type of data that you use to train it. And from your history, we can also know maybe your organization hire more gender uh favorites than the other. That is to say, it's either a male or what, or a female. And I think all around the world now, we are beginning to hear that there are now different types of gender. So before we used to have male and female, now we're having several genders. So your organization can decide to be able to favor any type of gender. So at the end of the day, this particular system, once you ask this question, will be able to make the right decision for your organization. So I want to talk about 5 things I need to know about bias. 5 things that I need to know about bias. I mentioned bias the other time. I said that it's one of the areas where every single mistake in development is easily noticed. So which areas can bias comes in your AI system? Number one is data bias, sampling bias. We have historical bias, that is past decision, contain discrimination. So people, because it's from my town. Yes, I love hiring people from my town. So it has the list of people that are from your town. So automatically, when somebody comes, for recruitment in the organization, and we are using the AI system, it will automatically recruit somebody or gives higher uh, opportunity to somebody from your what, from your town. Another one is agronomic bias, and that is where the model processes systematic different outcomes. And lastly is measurement bias. So these are the major areas in your AI systems where bias, can be easily noticed. I want to say this. Okay, we'll come back to this. You need to understand, and I said the other time, in governance, you don't allow AI to automatically make every of your decision. What do I say that you need to do? Somebody help me in the chat room. What did I say you need to do in your AI system? What do you need to provide? Somebody help me in the chat room. I said you must not allow your AI to be able to make all the decision. What did I say that you must provide as a business analyst? What do you need to provide? Can somebody help me out quickly? Quickly, time is going. Can somebody help me out? Or you can unmute your mic and just speak it up. What did I say you must do? I mentioned it the other time. I'm expecting either one or two answers. Quickly. I said your AI must not be, you must not give your AI system to always automatically make all significant or major decisions for you. What do you need to do? Quickly, in the chat room. Quickly. Quickly. Somebody help me out now. Somebody help me. Somebody help me. Okay, I said you need to provide human oversight, and lastly is that there must be explainability. Do you understand? So if AI automatically approves a routine transaction, it's a low risk decision. Are you getting me? But when AI reject customer or probably make significant details, then it's a very high risk to us. Do you understand? So when AI, just do normal things, make normal decisions, that is low. But when we leave it to be able to make important decisions, then we are making what? We are making a mistake by giving, the decision back to the AI, and that is a very high risk. So you need to understand that AI system processes a lot of data. Yes, AI system processes a lot of data, and all this data, some of the risk that it processes to us or gives to the end users or to the organization includes unauthorized data collection. If your system is not properly trained, number two is excessive data collection, data leakage, unauthorized use, retention problems, sensitive information exposures. So in order to be able to ensure that the number of uh, data that is being used is safe, are you getting me? Is safe for use on your system. You as a business analyst must be able to ask the following questions. Number one, what personal information does this particular AI require? Because at the end of the day, you'll be able to reduce the number of PIIs that is going to be exposed to attackers. Number two questions is every data element in that particular AI system or model or data necessary? Who can access that particular data? How long can it be retained? And can data be anonymized, or can sensitive information be excluded? Let me just quickly talk about risk management. Then I'm going to end today's session. I'm going to send a lot of questions to us at the end of this particular session. I'm going to send some questions to us so that we can be able to, try out, as a business analyst, it takes your thoughts and it helps us to be able to understand, AI governance, AI lifecycle, AI risk. Are you getting me? And the management. So you need to understand that AI risk is very important or AI risk management is very important because at the end of the day, your system that you are trying to build, the product you are trying to build, the model that you are trying to develop might give undesirable outcomes. So it is your job as a business analyst to be able to identify all these risks. So assessing this particular risk helps you as a BA to be able to what? Look well before the outcome comes. So as a business analyst, you can be able to quickly predict what is going to happen in the AI outcome. So you understand them, you identify them, you understand them, you document them, and you are able to put them into either a low or a high or a medium risk or a high risk, and you are able to what? Attend to them immediately. Let's talk about the formula that's being used to be able to calculate risk. I'm very sure all of us on the call, if you don't know about risk calculation, I'm going to give us an assignment. I might not be able to dwell much on it, but I'm going to just lay the foundation and give us an assignment to be able to go do research and ensure that you are able to document a risk around the task that I'm going to be given. Number one thing I need to understand that every risk is calculated on likelihood multiplied by the impact. Don't forget, likelihood multiplied by the impact. So you want to start asking, okay, what harm does this pose to the customer? What harm does it pose when it comes to discrimination? What harm does it pose to regulatory guide? What harm does it pose to the reputation of the organization? You start picking all this one after the other, and you start documenting them into we call it risk register. So now let's talk about 6 categories of AI risk. In 5 minutes, I'll be out of this place. In 5 minutes. So 6 categories of AI risk. Number 1 is data risk. Number 2, model risk. Number 3, privacy risk. Number 4, cybersecurity risk. Prompt injection, data poisoning, model manipulation, credential theft, malicious input. All these are AI risk. And we have compliance risk, that is regulatory. Do you understand? So we want to ask, what are the data protection law for your company, for your continent, for the world? We have for Nigeria, for example, we have the NDPC, we have for Kenya, we have the KDPC, and so on. In Europe, we have the EU Data Act, we have for US, we have US Data Act, and so on and so forth. So you want to understand what risk does your system pose to all these categories. And lastly is the third party risk. Let's go talk about what you need to understand by the risk that generative AI adds. You understand? So I put it into 5 phases. Number 1 is hallucination. I know we'll have spoken about this a lot of time. And when I say what is hallucination, you mean that the AI system forgot what it was talking about, or probably,
I'm Mr. Yola.
yes, ma.
Okay, I'm just calling your attention to time. You have 5 minutes to
Yes,
talk.
I'm done. I'm rounding up now.
Thank you.
I'm rounding up now. Thank you. So the 5 major risks that's been posed to generative AI includes your hallucination, your confidentiality, your intellectual property, and prompt injection, then over reliance. So I'll head with this, and that is the business analyst rule. The business analyst rule. Are you getting me? You need to understand that business analysts connect up to 6 words together. Number 1 is the business face. Number 2 is the user face. Number 3 is the data. Number 4, technology. Number 5, risk and compliance. These words are where helps you to translate the governance principle into the actual requirements, which includes the identification of the problem, which gathering of requirements, and you are able to define an acceptance criteria. That is to say, the both the development, analysis, and every other area that we mentioned initially. Okay, so I'm going to be stopping here. And what's going to be our key takeaway for today? We spoke about governance, answer just 5 questions. Abi, remembered? And I said, what is the priority, the proportionality of AI is the rule. That is to say, the bigger the impact of decision, the stronger the governance around it. Do you understand? And I also said that for every AI output, accuracy is not fairness. You remember that said accuracy is not fairness. So a model can be statistically accurate and still produce unjust outcome. So what do you need to do? Number one, provide human oversight, and number two, provide explainability. Ethics is the source of requirements. That is to say, it must follow fairness, explainability, oversight, privacy, all becomes testable statement. And your job as a BA, as a business analyst, or an AI business analyst is to do what? Is to ensure that you make it real. That is, governance lives or dies in the requirements and acceptance criteria that you have. Yeah, I hope you've learned something this morning. I want to say thank you, everyone. Um, that's all from my side this morning. So, good morning. I don't know if there's any question. Over to you, uh, Mercy. Any
All right, thank
question?
you so
Do you have
much,
any
Mr.
question?
Yola.
Yeah.
Any question?
Okay.
Let's take two
Okay.
questions and then we move on to the next session. Anyone?
Okay. Okay. I think we can move on. Thank you very much, Mercy.
All right, please let's put a round of applause to our first trainer. Thank you so much, Mr. Yola. I enjoyed your session. Thank you so much. I believe everyone understood you, which is why they don't have a question. Thank you. All right, so moving on, we are going on to the next session. Still 1 hour. Give me a moment to share my screen. All right, so the second session of a moment, please.